Guys, so now we're going to create our first Java project. Now, if you followed the tutorial previously, we installed and set up IntelliJ and the JDK, which is the Java Development Kit. To create a new project, we need to first open IntelliJ, which will present a window like this. This will look similar if you're on Windows too. Now we press New Project. And now it essentially comes up with this screen here. We don't want to select any of these, we just want a new project. And we can now put the name in here. We can name our project, which can be named however we want, but I'm going to name this one Hello World, like this. Now, where it says location, we can choose where this is stored on our computer. If you're on Windows, it will come up with a file explorer as well, but I'm going to put it in this folder here. Now we're going to leave all the defaults. This should be filled in automatically if you followed the steps in the previous tutorial. Make sure this add sample code is put in here. We'll save us a little bit of time writing things out. Now we press create. So now a window will come up very similar to this that will display our auto-generated main code. Now, quick tour of IntelliJ. Up here is the title bar. It will essentially show the project and things to do with version control, which we're not going to go into in this tutorial, and that will be later in this series. We have the run button here, this green sort of play button, and then this debugging button, which again, we'll go into that later on in this course. As we can see, this is a very basic project. We have on the left here, our file tree. So obviously we only have one file here, but when you start building huge projects, it will span all the way down here and you'll have loads and loads of different files that have different Java code in. And obviously we store our code in those files and we can run those. Cool. So as we can see, it's opened up main.java here. Now, here is a bit that displays the code that we're writing. And it also says the name of the file here. We can also X out of this and it won't show any files. But obviously we only have one file here, so we'll want to double click on that. And then we'll get this code here. Now, this might look really complicated to start with, but let's break it down. So I'm just going to click here and it will essentially collapse that. We actually have 5 lines in this file, but sometimes the IDE squashes it all together. So what we're going to do, we're going to select all of this and we're just going to delete for now and just create some space. So just spam enter a few times and we get this space in here between these two curly brackets. Now, to create a main method, we're just going to rewrite what was there previously, but it's always good practice too so that we can break it down. So, to write our main method, which is where our code will start, this is the starting point of our program, we write this. Public, space, static, void, and then main, and it has to be called main, nothing else. And then brackets. And then we're going to go inside the brackets and then write string and then a square bracket, and it will put a second one for us. We want to get out of that and go space, args, args. And you'll see stuff start to highlight, but don't pay attention to that quite yet. Then after this, we want to put a space and then a curly bracket. And then enter. We can press enter a few times. So now we have the same code that was there before, except for we have this sort of what we call is a function, a method, right, in Java. And essentially, many lines of code can go inside here, and whatever goes inside here will be executed. So, let's get rid of some of these lines. Let's just say we want to output something to the user. We go like system, so type system with a capital S, dot, out, dot, and we get these suggestions here. Print, ln, and then bracket. And then we can put anything we want inside here. Now that could be a string, a number, or whatever, but we're just going to put a string. So you're probably wondering, what the hell is a string? Well, a string is just sort of a phrase, right? It's a list of characters. So we can just put some normal text in the string. Now to create a string, we go like this. We put these two quotation marks here, the double quotes. Make sure they're double quotes and not single quotes. We can go into that in a later module where we cover strings and characters. So let's just write a message that we're going to output to the user. So we're going to say, hello, this is your first Java program. So we can write whatever we want in here, as long as it's within these speech marks, and it will be highlighted green in IntelliJ. Now, as we can see, we have this red squiggly line over here, and it's saying, oh, error, error, error. So we have squiggly line there, there, and there. Now, the reason why this is because every line in Java, every sort of line of code must end with a semicolon. Now, the reason why this ends with a semicolon and these don't is because these are almost like wrappers, right? So wherever you see a curly brace, it means we're wrapping multiple lines of code within something. So obviously these don't have semicolons at the end, but the normal sort of lines that we write that actually, you know, perform logic in our code will end with a semicolon. And obviously that's just something we'll have to get the hang of. But yeah, so this is some very basic code here. We can run this by either right-clicking anywhere and pressing run, or by clicking this green button here, or this green button here. So wherever it has that play button, now we can click that and it will run this code. Wait a few seconds. Bam, there we go. Hello, this is your first Java program. So as we see, whatever we put in here within these brackets is outputted here. So we can change this to our heart's content however we want. So I'm going to change this to hello, Java is the best. Now let's run that again. We can either run that here or we can press this replay button down here, but I'm going to run it up here. Boom, Java is the best. So we can change that however we want and it will output like that. We can also add multiple versions of these. So let's just press enter and let's do another one. So let's do system.out.println, and println stands for print line. Another line. Or you can put whatever you want in the other line here. And obviously make sure to put a semicolon at the end. This semicolon tells Java that this is the end of this line of code. So this is the end of line 4. And obviously you can see the line numbers are all here. So let's run this again. So we will see hello, Java is the best on one line. Then on the next line, we say another line. Because we are printing a line. We're sort of printing it out to the user. You know, as you would with, you know, a printer printing out a bit of text. This is like our bit of paper. And this is what the printer's doing, and we can print that out there. This isn't to be confused with physical paper or anything, that's just an analogy. So, one more thing I wanted to show you, which is pretty neat, is obviously system.out.println, that's a lot to remember and it's quite long to write. Now, we have some shortcuts in IntelliJ, which will help us do this quicker. So, follow me. We want to go all lowercase now and type this, S-O-U-T. Now, as you can see, some autocomplete comes up here, and we can print a string to system out. And we can do the same thing as we did before, and it's just shortcut that whole thing for us. So it could be like, hello, like this. And we can run that. Now we see hello. Now that's sort of the basics of Java. We're going to learn much more. And the next chapter is going to be about integers. See you there.